Greetings, Cosmic Core. Mike here with Sci-Fi and More, and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things sci-fi. And thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your continued support of our channel. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome to the Sci-Fi family, and we hope you join us for every sci-fi adventure. You know, for decades, the science fiction genre has been one of the most thrilling and intense genres in film. From Alien to Star Wars and The Matrix to Star Trek, science fiction films have captivated us as audiences, not just with some thrilling stories, but with some amazing women that took the helm in their respective movies. Many of the best actresses in sci-fi have captured audiences with multiple characters in various science fiction films, while others only needed one perfect role to be remembered forever. Now, there are so many great leading ladies of sci-fi out there, but we are only going to cover a few today, and there are some spoilers ahead. But before we start, just one request. If you like the videos we are creating, be sure to drop a like and share the video. And if you would like to support the channel even further, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for alerts. Now, let's catch up with some of the strongest sci-fi leading ladies of recent years. Carrianne Moss. When The Matrix premiered in 1999, it was destined to be earmarked as a revolutionary and genre-defining film. The revelation that the film's depiction of life at the end of the 20th century was actually a simulation by sentient machines using humans as living batteries was mind-blowing for audiences. Similarly, the special effects set a new industry standard for science fiction and action films. It is in the often parodied first sequence of the film, where Carrianne Moss's Trinity dispatches some police officers with a physics-defying kick, where the audience is introduced to her unique ability to consistently kick ass with both style and purpose. Now, once The Matrix had become a box office sensation, it would be reasonable to assume that Carrianne Moss would start to get looked at for other sci-fi roles. And she was, as she was cast to play the female lead of Commander Kate Bowman in the movie Red Planet, released in 2000. Now, I like aspects of Red Planet, but if we're being honest, Red Planet was never going to be The Matrix, which Moss returned to in 2003 with both its sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions. Since the Matrix trilogy had ended and Red Planet was behind her, Moss still compiled plenty of movie credits to her resume, but Moss didn't really have any additional science fiction credits to her name. The closest sci-fi type was a character named Jerry Hogarth, a recurring character role spanning multiple Marvel comic shows, such as Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, that streamed on Netflix. But that changed in 2021 when Carrianne Moss brought Trinity home in The Matrix Resurrections, showcasing just how effective sci-fi female protagonists could be. Now, let's see what she can bring to a galaxy far, far away in the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series The Acolyte, premiering in June of 2024. Olivia Wild. Now, some of you might know Olivia Wild best as the character Remy Hadley, or better known as 13 from the Fox medical drama series House. Or you might know her as a sought-after female director. But before all that, Olivia Wild got her big screen break with 2010's Tron Legacy, where she starred as Cora, an algorithm within the virtual reality known as the Grid, where the main character enters this computer-generated world to search for his long-lost father. Since Tron Legacy, she has built up a respectable sci-fi film resume, including probably her most recognizable sci-fi appearance as Ella Swenson in the 2011 Jon Favreau film Cowboys and Aliens, portraying a tough, no-nonsense character with a surprising twist. Some of her other sci-fi credits include In Time in 2011, Her in 2013, The Lazarus Effect in 2015, and what seemed to be a really fun appearance for her, reprising the character role of Gozar the Gozerian in 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, the original Ghostbusters villain. In addition to her acting, she has successfully tried her hand at directing, with her 2019 directorial debut of a teen comedy titled Booksmart, and with her science fiction directorial debut of 2022's Don't Worry, Darling, which pays homage to a few science fiction films such as The Matrix. Don't Worry, Darling is a psychological thriller about a 1950s housewife living in a closed community who lovingly serves her husband. Despite the seemingly perfect setting, Don't Worry, Darling's mysterious victory project holds many secrets and twists, such as the participants all having one of 3 origin stories. This project in the film is clearly more than it seems to be, as the ending unfolds to include several big reveals as the story comes to a close. For a science fiction directorial debut, I would have to say this was pretty good. Amy Adams. Now, when you think science fiction, Amy Adams is not one that would come top of mind. Despite having played the legendary and iconic character of Lois Lane in Zack Snyder's 2013 Superman film Man of Steel, and reprising the role in Batman vs. Superman and the Justice League, Adams has had one of the most expansive careers of pretty much any actor in Hollywood. From big-budget superhero films to visceral dramas, Adams has done a little bit of everything. One of her best roles, however, is the 2016 science fiction film Arrival, which has been described as one of the most thought-provoking sci-fi movies in recent memory. Director Denis Villeneuve's film adaptation of Ted Chiang's short story titled Story of Your Life, which was considered unfilmable at the time of publication in 1998, but later, after a few years of tweaking the script enough to get a studio to fund the project, Villeneuve was ready to shoot. As mentioned, Arrival is one of the most thought-provoking science fiction movies in recent memory, and has contributed to a new age of cerebral sci-fi cinema. Now, while Adams isn't jumping across buildings or using some other superhuman abilities, what makes her stand out in this film is her intellect. I mean, she is clearly the smartest person in this movie. In the film, Adam plays a linguistic expert named Louise Banks, who must work alongside the military to decode an alien language after 12 alien spaceships appear hovering over various locations around the Earth, crewed by cephalopod-like, 7-limbed aliens the movie refers to as heptapods. When casting was underway for Arrival, Amy Adams was Denis Villeneuve's first choice for the role of Louise, and, as the story goes, Adams accepted the part within 24 hours of receiving the script. In order to prepare for the role of a linguistics expert, Adams consulted with an actual linguistics professor named Jessica Kuhn, who teaches at McGill University, so she could properly showcase how language is interactive in nature. At this point in her career, Adams has proven that you just need one memorable sci-fi performance to create a lasting memory with an audience. Zoe Saldana. Well, if you're going to break into science fiction, why not do it with one of the largest and most recognized franchises in the history of science fiction? And since you're there, why not successfully make a leap into a couple of other successful sci-fi franchises? Zoe Saldana made her first appearance in science fiction in 2009's Star Trek. Saldana took the mantle of legacy character and Star Trek icon in the portrayal of Lieutenant Uhura, previously played by the late Nichelle Nichols in the original Star Trek series, and then reprised the role twice in the sequel movies, Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond. Her portrayal of the now Lieutenant Nyota Uhura was characterized by her toughness and strength in various ways. This Lieutenant Uhura is depicted as a highly skilled and dedicated communications officer who excels in her duties on the Starship Enterprise. Her character is known for her intelligence, sharp wit, and confidence, which are qualities that contribute to her being seen as tough and strong. Additionally, Saldana's portrayal of Uhura in the film demonstrated her ability to showcase the resilience and determination of the character in the face of certain danger by characterizing her intelligence, competence, determination, and willingness to assert herself in the demanding and high-pressure environment of space exploration. Building off the success of the 2009 Star Trek film, she continued bringing tough and complex characters to the audiences when she jumped into the Avatar franchise as Neytiri, a tough and strong member of the Na'vi, a species native to the alien moon Pandora, that are highly skilled in combat, hunting, and survival. A skilled warrior and hunter in her own right, proficient in using a bow and arrow and riding fierce creatures known as dire horses and mountain banshees, all while navigating the dangerous terrain of Pandora. Neytiri is also portrayed as a wise and spiritual leader within her clan, demonstrating empathy, compassion, and a deep connection to nature and her people, while fiercely loyal to her culture and traditions, willing to fight for the protection of her home and way of life against outside threats, including humans seeking to exploit Pandora's resources. But of all the franchises she has been a part of, nothing was more recognizable and consistent than the role of Gamora, who we were introduced to in the 2014 Marvel Cinematic Universe's Guardians of the Galaxy. Playing the daughter of Thanos, the Mad Titan, and the villain of the entire 23 movie arc, of which Saldana portrayed Gamora in 5 of the Infinity Saga movies. Gamora is a complex and dynamic character who undergoes significant growth and transformation throughout the series. Initially introduced as a skilled and deadly assassin with a troubled past, Gamora is determined to break free from her abusive adoptive father Thanos and redeem herself for her past actions, ultimately evolving into a compassionate and brave warrior who forges deep connections with her fellow Guardians. Zoe Saldana has spent her entire career portraying awesome and badass sci-fi characters, and her portrayal of these diverse and empowering sci-fi characters contributes to a more inclusive and representative depiction of women in the genre, emphasizing their strength, resilience, and complexity. Katie Sackoff. Another sci-fi franchise warrior is Katie Sackoff. Most of us would think of her first venture into sci-fi was in 2003's Battlestar Galactica miniseries. But her entry point into sci-fi came in the television series The Fearing Mind in 2000. That was merely a jumping off point into the character of Starbuck. Sackoff depicted Starbuck in the 2004 Battlestar Galactica series as a fierce and resilient pilot who exudes confidence, fearlessness, and a rebellious spirit. She is a highly skilled fighter pilot known for her daring maneuvers and strategic thinking. Despite facing numerous challenges and setbacks, Starbuck remains determined and resourceful, always willing to put herself on the line for the greater good. Her complex personality, including her flaws and vulnerabilities, make her a truly compelling and multi-dimensional character. Sackoff's portrayal of characters like Starbuck showcase breaking stereotypes, showing that a woman can be tough, assertive, and independent in a male-dominated genre like science fiction. But her membership to sci-fi franchises isn't limited to Battlestar Galactica. While Battlestar Galactica was still airing on the Sci-Fi Network, Sackoff jumped into another popular franchise originally from the 1970s, The Bionic Woman. During the short run of the NBC reboot of The Bionic Woman in 2007, Sackoff played the character of Sarah Corvus, the first Bionic Woman, the prototype to Jamie Summers. And this prototype, well, it had some flaws. The Sarah Corvus character was a recurring antagonist in the show, known for her cybernetic enhancements and formidable combat skills. The character added an element of intrigue and conflict to the series, proving to be a daunting opponent for the protagonist, Jamie Summers. Sackoff's performance as Sarah Corvus showcased her versatility as an actress, bringing depth and complexity to the role of a complicated and conflicted antagonist. But her sci-fi franchise membership would not be complete until she stepped into the role of voicing the Mandalorian Bo-Katan Kryze, starting in 2012 during the 4th season of the animated Star Wars show, The Clone Wars. Now, the animated character was not only in The Clone Wars, but also carried over into a second Star Wars animated show, also voiced by Sackoff, titled Rebels. But it is the live-action appearance of Sackoff as Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian that has solidified her as a strong and compelling female lead in the Star Wars universe. Sackoff portrays Bo-Katan Kryze as an exceptionally confident, determined warrior and fearless leader who commands respect and inspire those around her in her quest to reclaim the Darksaber and restore her homeworld of Mandalore to its former glory. Overall, Katie Sackoff's portrayal of Bo-Katan Kryze in The Mandalorian has contributed to the character's status as a standout female lead in the Star Wars universe, showcasing strength, resilience, and unwavering determination in the face of adversity. Now, if we could only get her into Star Trek, the circle would be complete. Linda Hamilton. In 1984, audiences were introduced to Sarah Connor and the Terminator, where our mother to the future resistance leader evades a Cyberdyne system T-800 Terminator, a relentless killing machine from the future. She is aided by a freedom fighter named Kyle Reese, also sent from the future to protect Sarah Connor from the Terminator. After the events of the film, Hamilton returned in the sequel Prepared for War. Following the release of Terminator 2 Judgment Day in 1991, moviegoers were enamored by Linda Hamilton's role and the transformation she had underwent in preparation for T2. Now, what's interesting is the visible transformation of Hamilton between the first and second Terminator films. At the time surrounding Terminator 2 Judgment Day, press releases, publicity packages, and media interviews for T2 focused attention on Hamilton's training with a fitness trainer and ex-Israeli commando named Uzi Gal. Hamilton had a 3-month, 6-day-a-week, 3 hours a day fitness regime with a strict diet which were promoted as necessary to make her look and act like she had become a skilled and efficient warrior since the first film. Hamilton also reprised her role of Sarah Connor in 2019's Terminator Dark Fate, showcasing once again just how strong she was. Linda Hamilton's portrayal of Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies was widely praised for her strong and compelling performance. She embodied a character who transformed from a vulnerable young woman to a fierce and determined survivor, showcasing physical and emotional strength as she fought against the Terminators and Skynet. Hamilton's portrayal challenged traditional gender stereotypes and highlighted the capability of a woman to be powerful and resilient protagonist in action films. Her performance resonated with audiences and critics alike, cementing her as a breakout strong female lead in the Terminator movies. But the Terminator series was not Hamilton's only venture into sci-fi. With films like King Kong Lives in 1986, Curvature in 2017, and currently starring as General Ellen McAllister, a high-ranking military officer shrouded in secrecy, in charge of a Men in Black-style government agency on the sci-fi network series Resident Alien. But it is Linda Hamilton's character of Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies that she is most often remembered for in the sci-fi fandom, and her character is often described as an ass-kicker due to her portrayal as a strong, fierce, and determined character. I mean, she outsmarted the Terminator, leading it through a hydraulic press and crushing it. Way to go. Carrie Fisher. The late Carrie Fisher did not start her career in science fiction. The world was introduced to her in the 1974 film Shampoo. It wasn't until 1977 that audiences were introduced to a galaxy far, far away and a princess that would lead a rebellion against an evil empire. Star Wars tells the story of a band of rebels battling against their oppressors, hoping to free a galaxy. One of the leaders of the fight is Princess Leia, whose smarts and unwillingness to back down from a fight helped turn the tides of war and secure victory. With a career spanning over 40 years, Carrie Fisher was not only an iconic actress, but an accomplished writer as well. Fisher appeared as sci-fi icon Princess Leia Organa in the original Star Wars trilogy, reprising her role in the sequel trilogy in 2015's Star Wars The Force Awakens and 2017's The Last Jedi. Sadly, Carrie Fisher passed away on December 27, 2016, from cardiac arrest, just shortly after completing her principal filming of Star Wars The Last Jedi. A younger CGI version of her likeness was generated to represent a younger Princess Leia at the beginning of the Galactic Rebellion in the prequel film to the original Star Wars movie, 2016's Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. That film was released just 9 days before her unfortunate passing. After her passing, unused footage from The Force Awakens was used in the final film of the sequel trilogy, 2019's The Rise of Skywalker, and left a interesting impression on audiences worldwide. In addition to her sci-fi film credits, Fisher had a respectable writing career as a script doctor, where she would tighten up screenplays and scripts written by other Hollywood writers and screenplays. This goes back as far as the original 1977 Star Wars, where she had rewritten or written original dialogue for Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo. This would continue through the original trilogy films, and George Lucas would call on her again to write or tighten up dialogue for 2 of the Star Wars prequel trilogy films, The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. But her scriptwriting was not just limited to the Star Wars franchise, as she either wrote, rewrote, or just wrote dialogue for such films like Hook, Sister Act, Scream 3, The River Wild, and The Wedding Singer, just to name a few. Carrie Fisher had written a number of books as well, but the book she is probably best known for, which became a bestseller in 1987, was her first novel, Postcards from the Edge, a semi-autobiographical tale that made a profound impact and then became a movie starring Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine, to which Fisher also wrote the screenplay. Postcards from the Edge is the story of a young Hollywood actress named Suzanne Vale, who's in drug rehab and tells the story of the relationship between her and her overbearing mother. This is based on Fisher's real-life mother, Debbie Reynolds. While her on-screen persona of Princess Leia depicts the strength, confidence, and unwavering determination in the face of certain danger, it could also be said that the real-life Carrie Fisher mirrored Princess Leia's tough on-screen presence as she battled her personal demons and addictions, and still showed the world how determination and conviction in the belief of yourself can propel anyone to great achievements. To many fans of sci-fi, there is no one more fitting for the mantle of sci-fi queen. Sigourney Weaver. In 1979, a science fiction film was released that changed the landscape of sci-fi and horror. That film, Ridley Scott's Alien, featured Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, fighting to survive against a vicious killing machine known as a xenomorph. The performance in that film and later films has often landed the character as one of the critics' top choices for best sci-fi characters. I mean, Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley was a no-nonsense, alien egg-burning, face-hugger-killing, nukes an alien hive from space just to be sure, alien queen terror. Ripley did not mess around. I mean, this woman got into a walking forklift in the second movie of the franchise, Aliens, and went toe-to-toe with a much larger and much more aggressive xenomorph alien queen.
Get away from her, you bitch!
There can be no doubt as to what made Weaver a star and an icon in Hollywood cinema. It is her unique action heroine performance as Warrant Officer Ellen Ripley on board the spaceship Nostromo. Weaver's Ripley was originally conceived as a man, but was soon switched to a female character by the director of the first film, Ridley Scott. Her natural air of command and refusal of the gender-stereotyped romantic submissiveness has subtly influenced all her roles ever since. Ripley herself evolved from a horror-style character into a blazing warrior queen. Ripley was the role that spanned almost 20 years of Weaver's career, with 4 Alien movies to her credit that she has brought a high level of energy and intelligence to. Following her appearance in the Alien franchise, Weaver continued to contribute to science fiction films, notably starring in 1999's Galaxy Quest, a fantastic sci-fi comedy with an A-list cast, perhaps none classier than Weaver herself. In this sci-fi spaceship drama, Weaver plays Gwen DeMarco, one of the cast of a Star Trek-type TV show, along with Alan Rickman and Tim Allen. Weaver absolutely commits to her role in the corny TV show depicted in the movie, and her calm professional character outside it in the standalone sci-fi gem. Aside from the Alien franchise, Weaver made a jump into another science fiction franchise starring in 2009's Avatar. In the movie Avatar, Sigourney Weaver played a character named Dr. Grace Augustine, a scientist who is deeply committed to understanding and protecting the environment of the alien moon Pandora. Dr. Augustine is portrayed as a knowledgeable, confident, and brave leader who advocates for peaceful coexistence between the human colonizers and the indigenous Na'vi people. Dr. Augustine demonstrates heroism through her dedication to the scientific exploration and her empathy towards the Na'vi culture and her willingness to stand up against those who would seek to harm the moon and its inhabitants for their own gain. She challenges the unethical practices of the human military forces and ultimately sacrifices herself to protect Pandora and its ecosystem. Through her character in Avatar, Sigourney Weaver embodies a heroic female lead who exemplifies intelligence, compassion, and courage. Dr. Augustine's resilience, integrity, and determination make her an inspirational role model and a significant contributor to the film's theme of environmental conservation and understanding. Sigourney Weaver has spent her career bringing incredible science fiction characters to life, but it was her role as Ellen Ripley in the Alien franchise that cemented herself as arguably the toughest sci-fi actress ever to grace the big screen. And there you have it, Cosmic Core. We hope you have enjoyed our list of strong science fiction leading ladies. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we are only scratching the surface with a list like this. There are a lot more influential and strong female sci-fi queens out there spanning multiple decades. So let me know who some of your favorites are in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching our video, and thank you for your continued support of our channel. It is greatly appreciated. If you like our videos, be sure to drop a like, share, and subscribe. It's one small click for you, but it means the world to us. And don't forget to hit that bell so you get all the latest alerts from our channel. See you in the next video, Cosmic Core, and have a great galactic day.